Peace and blessings everyone. This is me, Saira Iqbal Khan from the Office of Corporate Linkages and Placements, and today we are extremely excited to share that we have signed an MOU with Mitchell's Food Farms Limited, and it's a great initiative that we have taken, and we hope to see both of the stakeholders joining hands on a lot of avenues to collaborate for a collective measurable impact on different innovative, creative and intellectual lines. I'm also excited to share that today we have Ms. Naila Bhatti with us, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Mitchell's, and it's an honor to have her today with us, and we will be getting into conversation with her. But prior to that, I would like to share that we always get extremely excited to see the females and such accomplished females in senior positions trying to make an impact in the world of brand. So Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum salam, I'm fine, thank you.
And I hope that it was a good experience for you
No, it was
today.
a wonderful experience. I mean, for me it was actually quite eye-opening, because I was not aware of, the UMT had this specific program on food and nutrition, and especially all the other fields also, and it's wonderful to see the university and see how excited the young people are.
So while you have such a illustrious corporate career and and a very diversified experience, and you have hit and enjoyed a lot of great positions, and you finally have make a mark to the highest position of the career ladder. So being a female, what kind of challenges you faced in the organization in terms of culture that you would like to shed light on for the benefit of our female students?
As a female, I think I started my career, if you say my corporate career, in an American company, Levi Strauss, and I was fortunate enough to have. They're one of the leading companies as far as HR development and training is concerned, and equality, and very, very strict about gender policies. So that was a great experience. It was very new to Pakistan at that time, so we got trained, and I think that was the main thing. The only challenge I think I faced initially was that my children were very young, and of course the added responsibility of having children at home to look after, and also fulfilling your duties, because you're expected, if you ask for equality, then as a woman you also have to work equally in the environment, and you should not expect specific or special treatment just because you are a woman. And I feel that is also one of the reasons that women don't maybe climb the ladder so much, because they have so many other responsibilities, and they need time off, and they need, so it's a challenge, but it's a juggling challenge. But I just feel that in Pakistan we are lucky to have joint family systems. I mean, at least I think that's a great thing, and I would advocate it for everybody that your elders, your parents, your sisters, your brothers, they are so important. At a time when you're married and you have children, and you have to do your household duties and a career to look after, then it's a blessing, I would say that. And I think that is what helped me in the start of my career when my children were young. After that, when they grew up, it was much easier. But of course the challenge is there that I'll give you a very, very it's a funny example, but it is a very pertinent of how women are perceived. That when I was hired as the Chief Operating Officer of the children's channel, Wicked Plus, I was taken by, at that time, Mr. Salman Taseer was the chairman of the group, and he took me to show me the office of Wicked. So when I went there, उन्हीं का एक और ऑफिस था, चैनल था Business Plus. तो जो Business Plus के COO थे, he's a very well-known journalist, by the way, and I don't want to take his name, but he came down, and Salman introduced me and said, this is our new COO, she's going to start a children's channel. And the first thing that person said to me was, oh, I'm so glad you're going to be in the same group, please look for a secretary for me, I can't find a good secretary. And I just looked at him, because I was joining as chief operating officer, he was, why should I look for a secretary for him? But before I could say anything, Mr. Salman Tasi turned around and said, you know what, why don't you look for a secretary for her? How dare you even ask her this question? So I have been very blessed to have bosses that have always, stood up for me. But these are the kind of things, I mean, yeah, for me it was a shock. This guy, why is he asking me to find a secretary for him just because I'm a woman? But that is one of the things. But otherwise, I think I personally have been blessed with having very good bosses, and working in an environment where harassment of any kind was not tolerated at any level. But I think more than that, it was also that the ability to speak up. I think sometimes we as women or young girls, we also tend to shy away from sharing our opinions. And I think that just gives others leverage to, because if you are not willing to put yourself out there, the other people are not going to let you get there. So you need to put yourself out there and take risks and take challenges, and even at the risk of sounding incorrect or being wrong, I think never be afraid of sharing your ideas, because people appreciate that.
Very nice. So being navigator, being an orchestrator at Mitchell's, and being at such a critical position, what kind of culture you are inculcating at Mitchell's, and because you shared about the openness, about sharing your ideas and all that. So being a lady, being a female, being an orchestrator of the group, so what kind of culture is being, because culture is a subset of so many things, including from strategy, operations, execution, and performance. So what kind of culture you are inculcating?
I think in a leadership position, I think the most important thing is that it's not that you trust your people. I think it's more important that your people trust you. And that is what makes an organization go forward. That the people who are working for you, who are your team, they need to trust you, that as a leader, you have their best interest in mind, you are fair, you are transparent, and you are always open for communication. So if they trust you, they will perform. So, I always feel that it's the other way around. The leaders say we need to trust. No, you don't need to trust your people. Your people need to trust you, that you are the right person, because it is only then that they will follow, or they will go beyond the normal work process and give more than they are supposed to be giving. And I think that's very important. And then, as my people everywhere who have worked with me can tell you, I don't believe in, for example, open door policy, or people can't come and talk to me. Anybody and everybody from the organization can come and talk to me. My door is open from the junior most level to the senior most level. I don't believe in this seniority and somebody junior can, and I think that has always helped me in having a very loyal team. And then letting, so just be open to communication, be open to criticism, because I think that's very important. The people who work with you should be able to tell you that you are wrong. If they can't tell you that you are wrong and you can't accept that, then it's never going to work, because people, even if they see something wrong, they will keep quiet. So I think that kind of, just giving that kind of a feeling, and where they are safe, where the environment is safe, where the environment is safe for everybody, whether women, men, and they all feel that there is no, there's nothing which is, I mean, there's no favorites, and the only thing that is being judged is your work and how well you work out there. And one of the first things that I did when I joined as CEO in Mitchell's was I entered, and there was this outside the CEO's room, there was this little cabin where there was a girl sitting there. And I found out she was the previous CEO's PA or whatever, secretary or whatever. So I called her in and I spoke to her and I asked her and I said, what is your education? What have you done? And what are your aspirations? And do you want to be a secretary all your life? And she said, no. And I said, are you happy in what you're doing? Are you satisfied? And she said, no. So I told my people that I don't need a secretary. Why would I need a secretary? I can do my own work. I can write my own emails. So I offered her a position where she has more of an opportunity to grow, and where she can contribute more to the organization and feel good about being there, because I think that's the most important thing, that you feel good about being in a place. And I think
very nice. I mean, if leaders, they have such kind of beliefs, and they have such kind of values to inculcate in the system, then definitely that organization can grow faster. And because culture is a differentiating factor which can definitely take an organization to the new heights. As you have entered into a industry academia linkage today, and youth really look up to you as a mentor. So what kind of advice you would like to give to the students that how they're supposed to prepare themselves for the future world of work?
I think times have changed, and it's a new world, right? So and this millennial the word is overused, but I have kids too, and I see them. So and the world is a much more open place, and people, youngsters have a much more, I think, opportunity to follow their passions. So I just feel that don't kind of block yourselves into a certain career, because I've seen it myself. I started in textiles, I went into TV, I went into telecommunication in Vatiin, I went into sports, I was at PCB, launched the PSL, and now I'm here. So just allow yourself to do what you think can contribute towards the betterment of society. And also, I think the most important thing is that you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. So finding your why, if you want to be a doctor, then why do you want to be a doctor? And if you want to be an engineer, why do you want to be an engineer? I think that is more important. And hopefully your why will not only be restricted to monetary benefits, because monetary benefits always follow if you do something passionately, and if you do something with and give it your all, then the money follows, believe me. But money can't be your only criteria, because after a while then you lose your passion for what you're doing. So be very find out very early, find out why you're doing what you're doing, and that is something which is very close to me. I have attended many seminars on that, and I can offer to lead a class on that. Actually.
Sure. We would love to have you. And as she's gave a very golden piece of advice, that your personal brand has 3 questions to answer, that why you are doing what you are doing and how you're going to do it, and be very agile and flexible in your approach in terms of maneuvering towards exploring different careers and different options around you. One last question. This industry academia linkage is also a very overused term, but I really want to have your thoughts and your opinion that how we can make it more productive, and what should be the key outputs to focus on.
I think it is very important that industry and academia link up, because what we saw in the past few decades was that these MBAs and all these people were being churned out without any idea of what the industry actually needed, what people wanted, the kind of people we required, and the kind of people that were coming out, or the expectations of the students. So these linkages are very important, because you can collaborate and find out and actually come up together with a lot of new things and innovations. So and I think I'm very happy to see that a lot of universities have started doing that, because that is the most important thing, and you see it in all other foreign countries, that they've always had these linkages and we haven't. So that for me is a very positive step by UMT and other universities who are doing it. But I think the organizations, the companies should also be open to listening to what the academia is saying, because sometimes we are so involved in the day-to-day running of a business that we lose sight of maybe innovation, maybe some new ideas, maybe some things that the youngsters know about and we don't even get to know. And so I think the collaboration should have some certain set outputs, because doing anything without a set objective or without a goal actually leads you nowhere. So I think it's very important that when you collaborate, you set a goal for yourself and then work towards that goal collectively.
Very nice. So, Ms. Naila, concluded it very nicely that, collaboration is the key, and to move forward and to emerge as a winner in the times which are extremely disruptive. Industry and academia, they really need to work together, towards, creating new interventions, new innovations, so that, Pakistan can also, emerge in one of the leading, innovation economies. So thank you so very much, and thank you.